Have you ever noticed something strange about the wild? A deer can stand calmly when it sees a massive predator. A monkey may watch a dangerous animal from a tree branch before deciding what to do. Even some of the strongest hunters on Earth are not feared by every creature they encounter. But when a different creature appears, a creature with no claws, no sharp teeth, no incredible speed, many animals react instantly. They freeze. They panic. They run. That creature is us, humans. At first glance, this makes no sense. We are not the strongest animals on Earth. We cannot outrun a cheetah. We cannot overpower a lion. We cannot fly above danger like a bird of prey. Our bodies were never built to dominate nature. And yet, across the planet, countless animals have learned one simple rule. When humans appear, leave. The strange truth is that animals do not fear us because we are physically powerful. They fear us because we are unpredictable. In the natural world, the most terrifying enemy is not always the strongest one. Sometimes, it is the one you cannot understand. A lion follows a pattern. A predator hunts because it is hungry. A snake attacks because it feels threatened. Nature has rules. Animals survive by learning those rules. But humans are different. We do not simply follow the environment. We eat. For millions of years, life on Earth existed through a delicate balance. Predators chased prey. Prey avoided predators. Every creature had a role. Every species had limits. Then something unusual happened. A small, fragile primate began to change. Our ancestors were not born as kings of the planet. They were vulnerable. We had weak bodies. We lacked natural weapons. At night, we feared the darkness. In the open wilderness, we were easy targets. But humans possessed something rare. We could cooperate. We could remember. We could learn from the mistakes of others. A wolf that is injured by a trap may avoid that location. But humans can transform one individual's failure into an entire group's survival knowledge. One person falls into danger. A whole community learns. One generation suffers. Future generations adapt. This ability changed everything. Humans did not just survive nature. We began to rewrite the rules of survival itself. Fire gave us protection. Tools gave us power. Language gave us collective intelligence. And slowly, a new kind of hunter appeared. Not one with sharper teeth. Not one with stronger muscles. But one capable of planning. A hunter that could think about tomorrow. This was something the natural world had rarely experienced. Because most predators are limited by their bodies. A wolf can only chase so far. A tiger can only hunt within its territory. An eagle can only see what is below its wings. But humans carry danger with us. We bring tools. We bring technology. We bring ideas. A human can change a landscape without touching it. And this is what animals learn to fear. Not our appearance. Our influence. The most unsettling part is that many animals seem to recognize this danger almost immediately. Even creatures that have never directly encountered humans often show caution when exposed to human sounds, shapes, or movements. It is as if nature has already written a warning. Stay away. Something about this creature is different. Fear is the language of survival. Animals do not need words to remember danger. Their bodies remember. Every escape, every hiding place, every moment of hesitation. These are messages passed through generations. The natural world keeps its history not through books, but through behavior. And perhaps the darkest truth is this. Animals are not afraid of humans because they misunderstand us. They may be afraid because they understand us better than we understand ourselves. We are the species that creates beauty. We build cities. We create music. We protect life. But we are also the species capable of changing entire ecosystems. To many animals, humans are not just another creature in the forest. We are a force that arrives, a force that expands, a force that changes the future. And this fear is only the beginning of a much larger story. Because the real question is not why animals fear humans. The real question is, when did humans stop being ordinary hunters and become the greatest source of uncertainty the natural world has ever known? The transformation of humans from a vulnerable animal into a global force did not happen overnight. There was no single moment when the natural world suddenly recognized us as a threat. No dramatic battle. No final victory. It happened slowly, almost invisibly. At first, humans were simply trying to survive. We searched for food. We escaped predators. We looked for shelter. Every invention was a response to weakness. Fire protected us from the cold. Tools helped us reach what our bodies could not. Cooperation allowed us to defeat challenges that no individual human could face alone. But every solution to human problems created a new problem for the rest of the planet. Because humans were not just becoming better survivors. We were becoming something completely different. We were becoming a species that could transform the environment itself. Most predators are controlled by nature. A wolf cannot decide to eliminate every animal in a forest. A shark cannot redesign the ocean. A tiger cannot change the landscape to make hunting easier. But humans can. We do not simply adapt to the world. We make the world adapt to us. And for other species, this was a completely new kind of danger. Imagine being an animal living in a forest thousands of years ago. You understand the threats around you. You know the sound of predators. You recognize the smell of danger. You know where to hide. But then something unfamiliar arrives. It LKS on two legs. It makes strange noises. It carries objects that become weapons. It does not move like any predator you have ever known. How do you evolve against something like that? The answer is terrifying. You cannot. Evolution requires time. A species needs countless generations to develop new defenses. But human expansion moved faster than nature could respond. Many animals had spent millions of years preparing for lions, wolves, and other predators. But they had almost no preparation for humans. This created one of the greatest biological mismatches in history. The speed of human change was simply too fast. When humans entered new environments, many animals encountered a danger they had never experienced before. They did not know how to escape. They did not know how to hide. They did not know that a quiet creature standing in the distance could completely change their future. This is why human arrival has been linked to dramatic changes in many ecosystems throughout history. Large animals disappeared from places where they had survived for thousands of years. Creatures that once dominated their environments vanished. Not because they were weak, not because they were unable to survive nature, but because they faced a new kind of competitor, a competitor that did not fight only with muscles, a competitor that fought with intelligence. But the most uncomfortable part is that human influence was never limited to survival. Many predators kill because they need food. Their actions are controlled by hunger. Humans are different. We have often changed the world because we wanted more. More land, more resources, more control. This is where the relationship between humans and nature became complicated. Our intelligence gave us the ability to solve problems, but it also gave us the ability to create problems on a scale no other species could imagine. A forest could disappear. A river could change direction. An entire habitat could be transformed. Not because nature demanded it, but because human decisions created a new reality. This is the hidden reason animals fear us. They are not only responding to what we do today. They are responding to what we have proven we are capable of doing. A predator represents a moment of danger. Humans represent the possibility of permanent change. That difference matters. Because in nature, survival depends on prediction. Animals survive by understanding patterns. They learn what hunts them. They learn what avoids them. They learn what can be trusted. But humans broke the old patterns. We became a species that could appear anywhere. A species that could cross oceans. A species that could enter almost every environment on Earth. And slowly, animals began changing their behavior around us. They moved away from roads. They avoided human activity. They changed when they searched for food. They became creatures living around the schedule of another species. Ours. The tragedy is that humans did not become powerful because we wanted to dominate nature. At least, not at the beginning. We became powerful because we wanted to survive. But survival gave us power. And power created a new responsibility. Because once a species has the ability to reshape the planet, the question is no longer, can it survive? The question becomes, what will it choose to do with that survival? And the answer is hidden inside the minds of the animals watching us. Because their fear is not only a memory of the past, it is a warning about the future. Why do animals react so strongly when they encounter humans? The answer is not only found in history. It is hidden deep inside the machinery of survival itself. Because in nature, the creatures that survive are not always the strongest. They are the ones that know when to be afraid. Fear is often misunderstood. We imagine fear as weakness. But in the wild, fear is one of the most advanced survival technologies ever created. A small animal that hesitates for 1 second too long may never get another chance. A moment of curiosity can become a final mistake. So evolution created something powerful. A warning system. A system that allows animals to react before danger fully arrives. A newborn deer does not need years of experience to understand that a predator's movement is dangerous. A bird does not need a lesson to know that a sudden shadow above it may mean death. Their bodies carry information collected from countless gene ratios before them. Survival is written into instinct. And humans have become one of the strongest signals in that ancient system. The reason is not simply that humans can kill. Many animals can kill. The real problem is that humans are difficult to predict. A tiger follows instinct. A wolf follows territory. A snake follows survival. But humans can act for countless reasons. We hunt for food. We explore. We build. We collect. Sometimes, we destroy. To an animal, this creates a unique kind of threat. A predator can often be understood. An unpredictable force cannot. This is why many animals respond differently to humans than they do to other dangerous creatures. A lion may trigger immediate fear, but a human presence can create a deeper form of caution. Because the animal is not only asking, will this creature attack me? It is asking, what will this creature change? That question is far more frightening. Because animals do not only live in the present, they depend on the stability of their environment. A forest is not just a collection of trees. It is a network of relationships built over thousands of years. Every path, every hiding place, every source of food, every seasonal pattern. Animals survive because the world around them follows certain rules. But humans have the ability to break those rules. We can replace forests with cities. We can transform landscapes. We can introduce new dangers without ever directly hunting an animal. Sometimes, our greatest impact is not the life we take. It is the world we change. This is where human evolution becomes deeply complicated. The same intelligence that allowed us to survive also gave us the ability to reshape everything around us. Our ancestors developed imagination. They could think beyond the present moment. They could prepare for tomorrow. They could create tools before they were needed. This ability made humans incredibly successful, but it also created a paradox. The more powerful our imagination became, the more powerful our influence became. We were no longer simply reacting to nature. We were creating new versions of nature. And other species had to adapt to a world built around human decisions. This is why animals living near human communities often change their behavior. They become active at different times. They avoid places with human movement. They learn to recognize human sounds. They adjust their lives around our presence. In a way, they are doing what humans once did with predators. They are studying us, learning our habits, predicting our movements, trying to survive alongside a species that has become impossible to ignore. But there is something even deeper hidden in this relationship. Human fear of predators, and animal fear of humans are not completely different. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors looked into the darkness and wondered what was watching them. Today, many animals look toward human settlements with the same uncertainty. The direction of fear has changed. The observer has become the observed. The hunted has become the hunter. And perhaps this is the most uncomfortable reflection of all. When animals fear humans, they are not only reacting to our strength, they are reacting to our choices. They are responding to a species that can create beauty and destruction with the same hands. A species that can rescue endangered animals while also destroying their habitats. A species that can understand nature while still struggling to live within it. The fear animals feel toward us is not simply a biological response. It is a mirror showing what we have become. And it leaves us with a difficult question. If every other creature on Earth learns to survive by avoiding us, does that mean we have conquered nature? Or does it mean we have become separated from it? For most of human history, we were the ones afraid of nature. We feared the sounds coming from the darkness. We feared the eyes watching from the trees. We feared creatures stronger, faster, and better equipped than ourselves. The wilderness was a place where humans had to be careful, a place where survival was never guaranteed. But something changed. The balance slowly reversed. Today, many animals are no longer simply living in nature. They are living around us. They avoid our roads. They avoid our cities. They avoid our voices. They adjust their entire lives around the presence of one species. Humans. At first, this may look like the ultimate achievement. After thousands of years of struggle, we created safety. We built shelters. We controlled food production. We developed technology. We escaped many of the dangers that once threatened our ancestors. But hidden beneath this success is a question that is much harder to answer. When the entire planet begins learning how to avoid us, what exactly have we achieved? Power or isolation? Nature has always survived through balance. Every species influences another. Predators control populations. Prey shapes ecosystems. Plants support countless forms of life. Everything is connected. But humans became different because we gained the ability to step outside these natural limits. We can protect species. We can restore damaged environments. We can rebuild what has been destroyed. But we can also remove species, change landscapes, and reshape ecosystems faster than any other force on Earth. This ability is extraordinary, and it is dangerous, because history repeatedly shows that the greatest risks do not come from weakness. They come from unlimited power without enough understanding. A species without natural enemies may eventually forget that it is still part of nature. And perhaps this is the deepest meaning behind animal fear of humans. Their fear is not just about death. Death has always existed in the natural world. Every creature eventually becomes part of the cycle of life. What animals fear is something different. They fear unpredictability. They fear a force that can change their world without warning. They fear are a species that does not simply survive within an environment, a species that transforms the environment itself. But there is another way to look at this. Maybe animal fear is not only a warning about them. Maybe it is a warning about us. Because fear creates distance, and distance can create misunderstanding. The more separated humans become from the natural world, the easier it becomes to forget where we came from. We walk through cities made of concrete and glass. We look at forests from a distance. We see animals through screens. We begin to imagine that nature is something outside of us, something separate. But that idea is an illusion. BF, or we built cities. We were creatures of the wilderness. Before we controlled fire, we depended on it. Before we changed the planet, we belonged to it. Human history is not the story of a species escaping nature. It is the story of a species carrying nature with it while gaining the power to reshape it. The question is whether we can remember that connection. Because the Earth does not need humans to continue. Life existed long before us. Oceans rose and fell. Forests disappeared and returned. Millions of species came and went. The planet has survived every change it has ever faced, including us. The real question is not whether humans can control nature. The real question is whether we can control ourselves. Can a species with the power to change everything still choose restraint? Can the creature that inspires fear also become a source of protection? Perhaps the greatest measure of human progress is not how many things we can dominate. Perhaps it is how many things we choose not to destroy. Animals fear humans because they have learned our history. They have witnessed what we can do. But the future is still unwritten. One day, another species may look at humans and remember us in one of two ways: as the creature that arrived and took control of everything, or as the creature that finally understood it was never separate from anything. Because the most important question is not, why do animals fear humans? The deeper question is this: when the last wild creatures look at us, will they see the species that conquered the Earth, or the species that finally learned how to live on it?